Welcome back to NCTV. I'm Collin, your host and winemaker at Nottingham Cellars. Today we're going to take a ride out to a few different vineyards and see what's going on with some of the Bordeaux varieties in our portfolio. We're out here in Gilmedi Vineyard taking a look at the Petit Bordeaux block. We started sourcing Petit Bordeaux from here in Gilmedi in 2011 and it's been a big part of our program ever since. We use it for blending in Cabernets and Supremacy and are actually looking forward to doing our first varietal Petit Bordeaux from the 2012 vintage. So far things are looking really good out here. The fruit zone's developed, canopy structure's looking good. Looks like the guys just put a little water on here. It's hot out here, so a little water is good right now. As the canopy continues to grow upward, we'll take the wires, move them up, train the rows. Things are looking excellent, and we're thinking this should be a great vintage from here at Gilmedi Vineyard. We're out here at Casa de Venus at the beginning of June, and things are just looking great. Canopy's in good shape in our new grafts, and we're really excited about our first vintage of Cabernet Franc and Malbec from this vineyard. Last year, we grafted over 4 rows to Malbec and 2 rows to Cabernet Franc for our Bordeaux program. Looking forward to getting those wines at Supremacy and potentially offering them as single varieties. To my left is Malbec, and things are just looking great. Julio and I decided to go with a modified Scott Henry. We call it the Scott Julio. So basically what we end up with is 2 different fruit zones, 2 different cordons with verticals coming up on either growth. What we've got is a great fruit zone. Things are looking great. We've already raised the wires on the cross arms to full height and things are just looking good. Over here to my right is our Cabernet Franc. Again, things are in great shape. We've already raised the canopy to the cross arms. All you see is a sea of green, so it's about time to come in, start opening up the canopy with some shoot thinning, dropping some leaves, and then what we're gonna do is expose the fruit zone, get a little more sunlight in there, a little more airflow. This should help in the ripening process as the growing season continues. We're down in block 470 in Smith Ranch where we get our high-end Cabernet Sauvignon. You can see things are really developing nicely here in the vineyard. Again, the fruit zone's in great shape. You can see clusters are a little more developed here down on the rocks. We call it the rocks because of the gravelly soils down here at Smith Ranch. If you take a look around, things are really good and promote great drainage. If you'll notice on the east side of the rows, you'll see a little more clustered growth as opposed to the west side of these rows, and that really just has everything to do with sun exposures. We're getting more direct sunlight as the sun comes over throughout the growing season. So as we continue through the growing season, you'll see things really developing more on the eastern side of the rows. As the growing season progresses, what we'll start doing is doing some shoot thinning, pulling off some of these leaves. What we'll end up doing is cutting down the fruit zone to 1 cluster per shoot. And what that'll do is really drive concentrated flavors into 1 cluster. We reduce the crop load, and what that ends up with is more flavor intense fruit, which is the backbone to my winemaking program. Thanks again for joining us on our little vineyard tour on NCTV. Be sure to join us next time as we take a look at some of our Rhone growth sites, and we'll learn a little bit more about Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. As you can see, the wind's blowing like crazy here in the Livermore Valley, and on that note, we're signing off.